Good evening, and welcome to the final candidates forum for DeSoto County and the respective municipalities on this Tuesday, June the 1st. Only 1 week left before you cast your very important vote for your representatives to represent you the next 4 years and perhaps beyond. Good evening. My name is Michael Smith. I will serve as your moderator for the final candidates forum here this evening. I want to welcome all of the candidates, and for those of you out there in the virtual world who are joining us either by brownbaptist.org website or the YouTube. We thank you for joining us, and we certainly hope that you would be attentive as the candidates talk about their platform, their opening and closing remarks, so you can make a uniform decision as to who will represent you. Remember, your vote matters. Your voice, your vote. So we want to thank Brown Baptist and the political action team in conjunction with the NAACP and, of course, the North Mississippi Cultural Foundation. And we just want to thank them for just allowing us this opportunity this evening, and for you to listen as the citizens, the voters, to hear and from the candidates who will vie for your vote. So we want you to sit back, relax, have a good evening, and call your friends and neighbors and tell them to tune in right now, because this is going to be an important vote and an important decision. I would like to share with you the rules of engagement this evening as we host the final candidates forum. The election day course in DeSoto County, as I mentioned from my opening remarks, is 1 week from today, Tuesday, June the 8th. The polls open at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This afternoon, the mayoral candidates for the city of South Haven and Horn Lake will get 5 minutes to introduce themselves and tell us about their platform. For those Alderman at large candidates, you will have 3 minutes to introduce yourselves and tell us about your platform. The remaining automatic positions, or the remaining Alderman candidates, you will get 2 minutes to introduce yourselves and tell us about your platform. The announcements will be made to each virtual candidate when I say 30 seconds remaining, and that's your cue to wrap it up so we can move on to the next candidate. I want to remind the candidates to watch the remaining forums via various platforms through Brown Baptist. That's either the church website, YouTube, or Facebook. Once again, after you finish, you can continue to watch the remaining forum various platforms through Brown Baptist website, which is the church's website at brownbaptist.org, the YouTube, or Facebook. This evening, we have candidates from Walls, Hernando, and South Haven. And we will afford makeup time for the candidates from Horn Lake, as they did not receive their time on May 25th, which was the first candidates forum. So we will go and give the Horn Lake candidates an opportunity for them to share and tell us about their respective platforms. Once again, my name is Michael Smith. I am the founder and president of the North Mississippi Cultural Foundation, formerly known as the DeSoto County African American History Symposium. Over the past decade, established itself as one of the leading minority culture preservations, philanthropic, and civic engagement organizations in the Mid-South. It was founded on February the 8th, 2010. The organization's efforts concentrated signature yearly events that promoted awareness in local minority historical contributions, nonpartisan participation in the political process like the one this evening, recognition of community heroes and heroines, trailblazer awards, and scholarships for youth. Our mission is to develop and to promote diverse cultural awareness throughout North Mississippi. Our programs and events are from the benefit of the community, and most importantly, for the community at large, irrespective of one's religion, race, national origin, or economic status and to promote equality and harmony among all individuals. Some of the noted North Mississippi culture events in the past were Community Chat and Choose, Culture Foundation Annual Banquet. We were instrumental in spearheading and naming 2 streets after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one in Hernando and one in Olive Branch. 2 historical markers were placed along the artery of Sweeney Road in South Haven to commemorate the once Jago community, a thriving African-American community, and our annual Juneteenth festivals. So on behalf of myself, board members Dr. Marco Robertson, Arthur Mclaren, and attorney Ravonda Griffin, we thank you for your past support and encourage you to participate in our future events to be announced. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Ms. Sharonda Toney, the Brown Baptist Political Action Ministry, who will present the Election Day information. Mrs. Toney.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm here to give you some useful information as we prepare for the June 8th election. To exercise your right to vote, here's a list of information that you will need to know prior to Election Day. 1, your designated polling location. Your polling location is based on the ward in which you reside. Your ward number can be found on your registration card. On June 8th, all polling locations will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also, you must present an approved form of ID to poll workers. So here's your list of approved forms of ID: a driver's license, a photo ID issued by a branch, department, or entity of the state of Mississippi, a U.S. passport, a government employee ID card, a firearms license, a student photo ID issued by an accredited Mississippi university, college, or community/junior college, a U.S. military ID, a tribal photo ID, any other photo ID issued by any branch, department, agency, or entity of the U.S. government or any state government, and lastly, a Mississippi voter identification card. Back to you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mrs. Toney, for that valuable information. And I certainly hope that the listening audience and for those who are joining us on this last and final candidates forum, before you go to the polls next Tuesday, a week from today, to cast that very, very important vote. So as we stated from the beginning, that we will introduce and give those candidates from Horn Lake, which they have the opportunity on the May 25th, but some of them did not were not able to join us. So we are certainly fortunate and we are happy to have the candidates with us. I would like to remind the candidates once again that the mayor candidates, you have 5 minutes, and the alderman positions, you have 2 minutes. And I would prompt you as to the 30 seconds remaining for you to wrap it up. So let's begin with the candidate for mayor for the city of Horn Lake, D. Cole Bostic. Mr. Bostic, you may want to unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
I am fine. You have 5 minutes to give your opening and closing remarks and tell us about your campaign. We ask that no personal attacks or against your opponents or their platform. We want to make sure we practice civility this evening. Thank you, sir.
Of course. Thank you for the opportunity. I greatly appreciate it. And you'll have to pardon my campaign shirt here. I tried to get out to campaign tonight and did not beat the rain. So here I am, though. But no, I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Cole Bostic, like Mr. Smith said, and I am born and raised Horn Lake. Love this community, and I'm currently a teacher at Horn Lake High School. But growing up here, but also being a teacher, kind of gives me an interesting perspective of what this community needs and who this community is. Mr. Smith, if I'm correct, I think that your own, I think his mother was an elementary school teacher here, and you know this community as well. And it's a great community that is in more recent years disconnected. And the reputation of this community is one that is not to be desired. It is the reputation. It doesn't stand for all of us. We are oftentimes kind of looked down on to the rest of DeSoto County, and it's time for that to change. And that change begins with new leadership, and that new leader is me. I love this community. I want to see this community head in a positive direction, a direction that is planned, not just for tomorrow, not just putting a Band-Aid on the problems of today, but planning for decades, planning that benefits everybody, whether it's homeowner or business owner or corporation or renter. Everybody deserves to be considered when plans are made. But how do you have plans when you have 8 planning directors in 11 years? It's time for us to head in a positive direction. Secondly, it's time for us to take a more efficient approach of what is happening around here. Why is it that the only time things are fixed is when people call? Why are we not proactive in seeking out the issues and developing plans to mitigate those issues on the front end, in order for us to not even have any of those sort of reoccurring issues? And our processes have to be streamlined when we want to take care of things around this community. We have to have follow through. We can't leave jobs half done. We cannot leave yards torn up and call it a job well done. It is time for us to take pride in our work and to take pride in the way that this city looks. We have 16 parks. It's time to treat all 16 parks the same way that we treat our citizens, with equity. Equally, it is time for us to care and take pride in our roadways. When people drive into Horn Lake, they should know it. We should take pride, and we cannot hold anyone accountable, any homeowner, any business accountable for the way their business or home looks until the city looks like the shining example that it should be. And lastly, it's time for us to build this community. It's time for us to connect all of the members of the community that want to see this place be better, that want to see this place be a place we can be proud of. It's time for us to come together. And that time is rising. When there's 32 candidates on the ballot in the primaries and interested in public office, the time is now for us to capitalize on the momentum that is gaining in this community. We want better in this community, and the time is now to elect myself as mayor. Left out and do not want to leave out the fact that I am married and I have a son. My wife is my better half. By all means, I told her not too long ago, they say behind every great man is an even better woman. That's not true. Not everybody has what I have. My wife is fantastic and is my rock, and I'm so grateful for her in this process, and my 3-month-old son, who is teaching me to focus on the simple things of life and to not get so wound up and caught up, and sometimes holding him as my own little piece. And so I enjoy that as well. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak, Mr. Smith. And if there's any questions or anything like that, I'd be happy to answer them.
There you go. You have about 20 seconds left if you want to get the last something in real quickly.
Sure, absolutely. I'm entering this race because I know this community, and it is not running on political grounds. It is not to be anything other than I want to be a representative of every person. And that's why I'm running as an independent. No R or D should define us on the local level. It's time to leave politics out, put the people first, and elect Cole Bostic for mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Bostic. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Have a good evening. So our next Horn Lake candidate, we will go to Ward 1. And at this time, Lindsay Larson. Ms. Larson, you have 2 minutes to tell us about your opening and closing remarks and your platform. Hello, Ms. Larson.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I am Lindsay Larson. I'm the Democratic nominee for the position of Alderman in Horn Lake Ward 1, and I'm so excited to be here and have this opportunity to just share a little bit about myself. I've been in Horn Lake for 4 years, but I am from Kansas, and I graduated from the University of Kansas. I have a degree in political science with a minor in public administration. And I've spent my entire career working in the nonprofit sector because helping people is really my passion in life. Here locally, I worked at United Way of the Mid-South for 4 years, where we focused on issues like poverty, health, education, and financial stability. So I was happy to be immersed in those issues and learn a lot about the issues affecting our local communities here in the Mid-South. Currently, I serve as the development director at Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. So in that role, role, I work in communications, marketing, special events, fundraising, and grant writing. And those are just a few of the skills that I will bring to the table if elected as alderman. One of the biggest issues that our aldermen in Horn Lake need to focus on is increasing our economic development. Horn Lake is really a city that if you drive from one end of Goodman Road down to the other, you see Horn Lake's kind of been left behind, and that's something that I want to fix. So in order to address our economic development, we need to grow a thriving business community, and that takes leadership, new leadership that is willing to aggressively recruit, target new businesses to come into Horn Lake and not just wait for them to come knocking at our door. And in order to do that, we need those new businesses, not just for the jobs, which will be great.
You have 30 seconds left, Ms. Larson.
So anyways, economic development is number one on my platform, and I'm just happy to be running with a group of other Democratic candidates that are united in our vision for improving Horn Lake through economic development and smart growth, and to be running together to have the vision to turn that vision into a reality. I know I have the educational background, the skills, and professional experience to make that happen, so I just hope that you come out on June 8th and vote for me and my fellow Democrats in Horn Lake. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Larson. Thank you very much. Okay. So now we're going to go to candidates who are vying for Alderman Ward 3 in the city of Horn Lake. At this time, we will hear from Maria Moreno. Miss Moreno, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you for having me. Hello, my name is Maria Moreno, and I'm running for Alderman in Ward 3. I've been a resident of Horn Lake for over 32 years. I fully understand the needs of small businesses. 11 years after making our home here in Horn Lake, I started my own cleaning service, which has employed many of our residents of Horn Lake in the Desoto County area. Since its humble beginning, Maria's cleaning service has grown exponentially over time, expanding into handling property management. I've raised 3 children here for the entirety of their childhoods, volunteering at their schools, Girl Scout meets, and many soccer games. I've had the pleasure of seeing many of their friends grow up and start their own families here, and I understand why many families have stayed in Horn Lake, and I understand why many have left. I want to help Horn Lake live up to its fullest potential. Together, we can make Horn Lake a much better place to live and raise our families. If you elect me as your alderman, I'll be committed to serving my community and focus my efforts and energy into building a better Horn Lake. I will work directly with the citizens, and I intend to be your voice. I believe that in order to build a better city, you have to really begin by investing in our neighborhoods. My goals are to begin with repairing our streets, road signs, and to start a recycling program. Additionally, I plan on devoting much time and effort into establishing programs to help both our area senior citizens and our at-risk youth children. These 2 groups are not only vulnerable, but oftentimes overlooked, despite making up a fair portion of our local population and being every bit as important as the rest of us. So on the Jimmy Stokes ticket and the Bill Egner ticket, you will get the honest, dedicated, passionate, and knowledge and leadership that our city deserves. So I'm asking for your vote.
30 seconds.
I'm asking for your vote on June the 8th, and we have a wonderful team lined up. Very dedicated. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Moreno. Now we will go, we have 2 candidates vying for Ward 4 this evening who are on the call. First, we will start with Lisa Hall Hayes as a candidate for Alderman Ward 4 in the city of Horn Lake. Ms. Hayes, you have 2 minutes. Is Ms. Hayes with us? Okay, we may have to come back. Mrs. Hayes is not here with us right now. So we have another candidate vying for Alderman Ward 4, and he will be coming by way of video, and that will be Mr. David Young.
Good evening. I'm Dave Young, candidate for Alderman of Ward 4 in Horn Lake. I come to you tonight at the Gracefulness of Brown Missionary Baptist Church. Thank you for inviting me. Everybody listening to this video tonight, you came to Desoto County in Horn Lake for one reason. You like what you saw. You enjoyed the schools. You look forward to the future for your children. You look forward for the future of your grandchildren. You want them to grow up in an environment that is positive, that will move them forward, that will give them the chances that everyone deserves. Folks, All of that was brought to us in this community and in this county by conservative value and conservative plans, conservative management. That's what I bring to the table. I will maintain the conservative management that it will take to bring Horn Lake back to the uniqueness that we deserve. I spoke to many, many people. Many have seen this city decline in the last 12 years under the prior management of the last alderman. Folks, we do have some hills to climb. We certainly do. It's not going to change tomorrow. If you will give me your vote, I will earn your trust. I believe in Horn Lake. I'm not here for a paycheck. The seat that I will sit in when I'm elected on June 8th is your seat. It's not my seat. If I don't do my job, fire me. It's that simple. On June 8th, please vote for Dave Young for Alderman of Ward 4. I will earn your trust every single day. Give me a call. I have an email address. Like me on Facebook. Ask me to come talk to you. I will do exactly that. I put my pants on every day, just like you do. Folks, June 8th, please vote for me. I will earn your trust. God bless each and every one of y'all. You have a great evening, and thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, sir. So that concludes all of the candidates for the city of Horn Lake. We certainly would like to remind those candidates to stay with us and watch the remaining forum via various Brown Baptist Church platforms, such as the Brown Baptist website or the Facebook or YouTube. Please, if you can, stay with us to hear from the other candidates. We want to move to the city of Walls. We have Mayor Henderson, who is, of course, unopposed, but at this time, I know that he would like to bring some updates and share with you what's going on in the Walls community. And we certainly would like to give him this opportunity this evening to talk about the updates in Walls and any other issues that he would like to apprise the citizenry of Walls about. Do we have Mayor Henderson available? I know he's supposed to be joining us virtual. Is he available, Mayor Henderson? We may have to come back to him because I think he had a board meeting this evening. And you know, when you're a mayor of a city, you always have to attend meetings, and we know how important the mayor's job is. So let's go to a candidate that's vying for Board of Aldermen in the city of Walls. And I believe we have a video of Mr. Bruno Lowry. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Do we have that video ready for Bruno Lowry, who is running for Board of Aldermen in the city of Walls?
Hello, my name is Bruno Lowry, also known as Downtown Bruno from Walls, Mississippi. I'm running for Alderman here in Walls, and I'm very moderate. I am a conservative, but a moderate conservative. I don't see parties. I'm not looking at Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. I'm just looking at Walls, Mississippi, my hometown. I want to see it improve. I want to see it stay the country town it is, but with a few more amenities. I want to see more revenue coming into the town, more tax come into our town, not for the citizens, but from businesses. I just want to see the police force continue to be a good, honest, fair police force. We've got a great fire department, a great police chief, and a great fire chief. I'd like to keep it that way. I don't want to see many changes. I just don't want to see things ever go back to where they used to be at a certain point when certain people were running things that maybe shouldn't have been. So I'm happy with the way things are now. I get to continue and just grow. So I would appreciate your vote on June the 8th. Once again, my name is Bruno Lowry, Downtown Bruno, Walls, Mississippi. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno Lowry. We appreciate that. Next, we have another gentleman that's also vying for the Board of Aldermen seat in the city of Walls, and he will be coming virtual, and that will be Dr. Leslie Burrow Mclemore. Dr. Mclemore, you have 2 minutes. Is Dr. Mclemore on? Is he available? Seeing not, we would come back if he joins us a little later. And also, we will let you know if Mayor Henderson of Walls is, once he's in, we would go back and allow him an opportunity to share his remarks as well. Before we get into the candidates for the city of Hernando, I do want to remind all of the citizens that are listening this evening, and I certainly hope that we have a lot of you that are listening this evening, and what a great opportunity, even with this pandemic, as we come out of it. We want to thank Brown Baptist Political Action Forum and Committee, all the good folks over there, Yvonne, Sharonda, and others. I know I'm going to miss a few names, but I just want to give kudos to a great production and how things are going, and you guys are fantastic. You're really making this opportunity for citizens to hear the candidates, to see the candidates, and be able to make that decision. And let me remind you, citizens, your vote matters. Voting is the bare minimum of any participation in a self-governed society. Did you hear what I say? It's the barest minimum thing you can do in a self-governed society. So 1 week from today, next Tuesday, yes, put on your calendar, next Tuesday, June 8th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The polls open up early and they close late to give you time for those getting off work at 6 o'clock or 6:30. You have no excuse. For those who have to go in, at 8 or 8:30, you still have time to vote. So let's don't make any excuses. Exercise your right to vote. You have that opportunity to write. Everyone should exercise their right to vote, because the person you're voting for, they will make the decisions and best guide you for the next 4 years and perhaps beyond. So one vote does make a difference. Please don't sit this election out, citizens. There's no sympathy for voters' apathy. I'm going to say that again. There's no sympathy for voters' apathy. It's important that we vote. Voting should not be an option. Voting is essential. Voting is essential. So I encourage you, for everyone, to please go out and vote for your candidate of choice. This evening, the candidates are here to educate, to inform, engage you to go out and vote on Tuesday, June 8th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you have no excuses. All right. So let's do that. Let's practice and your exercise. It reminds me once that in 1975, being a musician as myself, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes put a song out called Wake Up Everybody. So I'm challenging you. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Wake up, everybody. Let's get out and vote. Let's get out and turn out in big numbers and vote Tuesday, June 8th, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. All right. So that was my PSA for the evening. So now let's move to the city of Hernando, my city, my hometown. It's so great to have the candidates who are with us this evening. I certainly hope that I know that there is a Board of Aldermen meeting that's taking place this evening in the city of Hernando. So the incumbent, I think Pastor Andrew Miller may still be in the meeting, but if not, he will be joining us maybe a little late due to a board meeting. But I do want to check to see, is he available or is he in the waiting room at this time? Is Alderman Miller available? Okay, we will have to come back. So let's go now to Jared Mashaw. I hope I'm not pronouncing his last name correctly. Is that Jared Mashaw or Mashaw? He will be joining us via video. Let's hear from candidate Jared Mashaw, Alderman Ward 2 in the city of Hernando.
Hey y'all, I wanted to thank the Brown Missionary Baptist Church for allowing me this opportunity. My name is Jared Mashaw and I'm running for Alderman of Ward 2 in Hernando. I'm recording this on Memorial Day, so first and foremost, I want to thank the brave men and women of our military who defend our freedom. Never forget, all gave some gave all. I'm at Conger Park currently with my family. I just had to sneak away for a second to record this. So I'm not actually in the witness protection program. I'm just trying to keep from getting burned on this beautiful day. This election is important to me because I'm currently raising a family in Hernando. I work in Hernando. My children go to school in Hernando. We go to church in Hernando. It's our home. We love Hernando. People don't realize that local politics affect us on a daily basis. The roads we drive on, the water we drink, the parks our children play at, and the brave men and women who protect us on a daily basis. I want to improve all of these things with a financially conservative approach. Thanks, and remember to vote for Jarrett Mashaw on June 8th for Alderman of Ward 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mashaw. So at this time, we would hear and go back to Ms. Sharonda Tony for election date information for those citizens in Hernando and South Haven. Ms. Tony.
All right. Let's talk about polling locations. So if you're in Horn Lake, you have 6 wards. Ward 1 will vote at Goodman Road Baptist Church. Ward 2, Fire Station number 2. Ward 3 and 4 will vote at City Hall. Ward 5 will vote at Fire Station number 1, and Ward 6, Fire Station number 3. Now, if you need help identifying your polling location, you can either call the city clerk or visit www.hornlake.org. Now, for Walls, all registered voters will vote at City Hall, which is located at 9807 Nail Road. Now, for Hernando, we have 6 wards. Ward 1 will vote at Fire Station number 1. Well, 1 and 2 will vote at Fire Station number 1. Ward 3, Fire Station number 3. Ward 4, Fire Station number 2. Ward 5, Fire Station number 3. And Ward 6, Fire Station number 2. Now, again, if you don't know your polling location for Hernando, you can call the city clerk or visit www.cityofhernando.org. Once you're on the City of Hernando website, visit the news section, which is located at the bottom of their website. In this section, you can access the list of the new approved district and voting locations. Okay. Now, before we get to South Haven candidates, I just want to let you know that the polling locations for Ward 1 will be at the M.R. Davis Public Library. Ward 2, DeSoto County Justice Court Building. Ward 3, Greenbrook Park. Ward 4, Northwest Mississippi Community College. Ward 5, Fire Station number 4. And Ward 6, DeSoto Central High School. So if you go to their website, again, if you don't know your polling location, either call the city clerk or visit their website, which is www.southhaven.org. Once on the City of South Haven website, you can visit the city services section located at the top, then proceed to the city clerk section, which has a link to the election information. From here, you can find your polling location, and you can also view sample ballots for each ward. Again, visit www.southhaven.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Tony, for that valuable and pertinent information. What great information. So really, we have no excuses not to go out and cast your vote next Tuesday, June the 8th, when the polls open up at 7 a.m. and commences at 7 p.m. You have the address. The address is also on your voter's registration card. Any updates, Mrs. Tony just shared those with you, so you know where to go. Monday evening, Monday night before you retire for the evening, make sure you have, your driving plan out and how you're going to get there safe and quick and cast your vote. And it's very important that we take heed to that information. So again, thank you, Sharonda. Now let's move to the city of South Haven, in which we do have a mayor candidates, and I would like to remind the candidates who are vying for the position of mayor, you do have 5 minutes to talk about your opening and closing remarks and tell us about your platform. And we do have virtually candidate Tommy Henley. Let's hear from Tommy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Henley. I'm an independent candidate for mayor of South Haven. I chose to run independent because I think everybody in South Haven deserves a voice that has not been that way in the past. My vision for South Haven is one that's unified, where people can work and live here in South Haven and make a good living. And making a good living, I'd like to bring manufacturing to South Haven, where people can make a good livable wage. I'd also like to work with the existing businesses to see what the South Haven can do to help them. I think for too long in South Haven that Blacks, Hispanics, poor white people have never had a voice. I'd like to be that voice for them. Crime in South Haven has gotten out of control over the last 8 years. I'd like to get a handle on that. I'd like to rebuild the relationship with the South Haven Police Department and the mayor's office. I'd like to move forward in the spirit of good neighbors. I would like to end the idea that the city building is a sum-zero game in which some have to lose if others are to win. South Haven is a great city, but it can be even better. And that's by focusing on, jobs, taxes, and infrastructure. Let me see.
You have 2 minutes left, Mr. Henley.
I know. Like I said, I'm proud to call South Haven home. I have 4 daughters. I've been married for 30 years. I'm sorry. I thought this was going to be like a question and answer thing. So I would like to invite anybody out there that has any questions for me. They can go to my website or contact me on Facebook. But two of my major concerns, like I said, is getting a handle on crime, making the city equitable for everyone, and bringing in better high-paying jobs instead of just the warehousing that we've been focused on for the last few years. And I'd like to thank Brown Missionary for allowing me to speak tonight. And
all right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Henley. We appreciate the opportunity you coming on, sir. Thank you so much. So the incumbent Mayor Musselwhite, he will not be able to attend the meeting this evening due to his mayoral obligations. And so the persons can visit his website. You can visit the mayor's website for additional information. And I'm pretty sure there's information about his platform and the reasons why he's vying for another term for the mayor of the city of South Haven. At this time, we will continue with the city of South Haven, and we will go to the Alderman at Large. Brandy Gull, who is also a candidate for an Alderman at Large, unfortunately, she cannot be with us this evening because due to a death in her family. So let's please keep her and her family in your prayers, and we want to extend condolences to candidate Brandy Gull. But we would like to hear from the Alderman at Large from the city of South Haven. He will be coming to us via video, and that will be candidate George Payne.
First, thank you, Brown Baptist Church, for hosting this event tonight, and thank you for being such a valiant partner to the city of South Haven and the community outreach that you serve for all citizens of South Haven. My name is George Payne. I'm the current Alderman of Ward 3, and I'm running for Alderman at Large. Unfortunately, I, like my other board members, are unable to attend the forum live tonight because we have our first board meeting of the month. Board meetings are always the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. I am thankful that you allowed me time to submit a quick video to introduce myself. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of South Haven, a product of DeSoto County Schools, a graduate of South Haven High School, and I received a Bachelor's of Science in Communications from Arkansas State University. I've worked in the Memphis television market for the past 26 years. Currently, I'm an engineering supervisor at WREG. Personally, I'm married to Lori Rasco Payne, and together we have 4 daughters and 2 grandchildren. I have a strong record of representing the residents of Ward 3 and South Haven as a whole. I'm proud of the work that we've done on the board. As a lifelong resident who has only lived in Wards 1, 2, and 3, I'm most proud of the work that we've done working to revitalize those parts of town and bringing business to the original business district. Incentives that we created allowed businesses such as Tops Barbecue, Conn's, Wendy's, and soon-to-be Cookout make huge financial investments in the State Line Road. As a child growing up in a small business, plus owning a small business with my wife for the past 28 years, I understand hard work, I understand the struggle, and I vow to continue to work to cultivate the city to help our small businesses succeed. I'm so proud of the work that we've done, the investments that we've made in South Haven, and I'm asking for your vote and your support on June 8th so we can continue the incredible journey that we've made. Thank you very much.
And now we will continue with the South Haven candidates as we move to Alderman Ward 2. And be joining us virtually, we have Nathan Reed. Let me remind Mr. Reed again, the clock is ticking and you will have 2 minutes. Mr. Reed.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. And I also like to thank the North Mississippi Culture Foundation, Brown Missionary Baptist Church, Pastor Orr, and the NAACP. I'm honored to be here to share you my platform. From the moment I decided to run, I told my wife I wanted to be as authentically me as possible. I'm not a politician. I'm a full-time husband, a dad, and an employee. I'm also a native of South Haven. I grew up here, spent my childhood playing ball at Cherry Valley, fishing at Greenbrook Lake. I've lived most of my life around State Line Road. From Highway 51 to Sweeney is where I called home. I've also been here long enough to realize that some wards and neighborhoods get more attention than others. I'm running to change that. I've said it from the moment I began campaigning. I want to be an advocate for my ward, my neighborhood, and my community. I want to push for more community engagement and involvement. We can do that by ensuring that our kids have safe walkways and playgrounds in their neighborhoods. Safe pedestrian walkways and bike lanes should be a standard in a city as big and as growing as ours is. It's an issue that has been kicked down the road for far too long. What good is a multi-million-dollar playground and sports facility if you don't have the adequate and safe means to get there? Working families in Ward 2 deserve to have their hard-earned money go back to the place they call home.
30 seconds, Mr. Reed.
Them to feel safety. I've learned during this short journey, I've learned how invested my neighbors are. They're ready for change and for stronger communities. And that's what I'm advocating for. And that is what my platform stronger, healthier, and safer communities through community engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Now, let's hear from the candidates that's vying for Ward 3 in the city of South Haven. We have a virtual, we will hear virtually from candidate William Jerome. Mr. Jerome, you have 2 minutes on the clock, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. First, I want to really thank Brown Missionary Baptist Church for allowing me this opportunity, and it's been awesome watching them grow over the years. I've grown up here, so I've been able to watch them grow. And I know Mr. Bostic alluded to earlier that your mother was an educator here in DeSoto County. It just so happens I had a elementary school principal, Mrs. Smith, that you may know. And she made an awesome impression on me. Educators are many of my heroes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity tonight. I am a retired military veteran with 30 years of active service. I know nothing else other than to serve. That's why I chose to enter this race. My wife grew up in South Haven. I grew up, of course, like I said, in Horn Lake. I personally have lived in South Haven for 28 years. We have raised 2 children, Jessica, 26, and Patrick, 23. Actually, he's 24 now. Both of them have grown up in South Haven. They've been able to enjoy many of the amenities, the parks, and some of their favorite memories actually are throughout some of the city parks. My focus will, of course, be on the safety and security of Ward 3 and, of course, all of South Haven. I want to ensure that Ward 3 gets their fair share of infrastructure maintenance and repairs, as well as ensuring we have a business-friendly environment for small businesses.
30 seconds, Mr. Jerome.
Thank you. I also want to ensure that all city parks get maintained and improved equally. I know there are parks in Ward 3 that need to be improved, and under my leadership and focus, I will ensure that that happens. Every child should have a park to walk to and play and grow up in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, continuing with Alderman Ward 3, the next candidate we will hear from, and who will be attending and coming on virtually, will be Arthur Mclaren. Mr. Mclaren, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Well, greetings and good evening. I would like to thank the North Mississippi Cultural Foundation, the local chapter of the NAACP, as well as Brown Missionary Baptist Church for hosting tonight's forum. I am Arthur Mclaren, and I am a candidate for Alderman Ward 3 for the city of South Haven, Mississippi. And on June 8th, I need your support in changing the makeup of the leadership of the city. I come to you with a plethora of experience. I'll be very brief. One of the main categories of experience is in terms of leadership, which I've gained well over 20 years of experience with the United States Armed Forces. Secondly, I have over 30 years of experience in the household of faith, which I've been doing since early childhood. My grandfather and father raised me in that tradition. We've continued to do so since our childhood. And lastly, I bring to you well over 10 to 15 years of experience when it comes to general support for the community, whether it be by way of supporting food needs, clothing needs, or shelter needs of local citizens within the DeSoto County region and beyond. And I think that that diverse level of experience places a leader that you can count on that has an appreciation for service, has an appreciation for leadership, and appreciation for faith. All three of those things are necessary in order to lead properly to help take care of the needs of the city. And on June 8th, I would like your support to be able to take my long-serving tradition of service and leadership to a whole new level for the city and the citizens of South Haven, Mississippi. So I look forward to continuing to work with the community. And on June 8th, I'm counting on you to help me make a change for the better. Thank you.
Mr. Mclaren. All right. Moving right along. And we are right on schedule. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank the candidates. And thank Brown Baptist Political Action Committee and Political Action Forum for just a fantastic job this evening as we navigate virtually to bring this opportunity so citizenry can hear and listen to the candidates give their platforms as to why they are vying for the positions of mayor, alderman at large, and also for boards of aldermen. As we move from Ward 3 to Ward 5, we don't have any candidates for Ward 4. So Ward 5, we will be joining us virtually, will be none other than April Wright. Mrs. Wright, you have 2 minutes, please, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Smith and Brown Baptist. Hello, I'm April Wright, and I'm running for Alderwoman in South Haven, Ward 5. So to tell you a little bit about me, I grew up in Memphis. I graduated from U of M with a degree in theater education. My husband, Jason, and I have been married for 16 years. We have 2 children. Ivy is 7 and Corwin is 4. We have 2 dogs, Sunshine and Salem. We adopted both of them from local shelters. So when I was in high school and college, I had family in South Haven, so I came to babysit all the time. So I've seen how much South Haven has grown over the years. After college, I spent 12 years working in public libraries throughout Memphis, Nashville, and right here at First Regional Library. And just a fun little fact, both of my kids are named after book characters. While I was working for the Nashville Library, my daughter was born, and we decided to move to South Haven to be near our family, because I'm sure all the parents know it's hard to raise kids without a support system nearby. So as a mom and a librarian, education, health, and safety are important to me. I would like more sidewalks, bike lanes, and streetlights. Projects I'd like to work on include updated parks, a community center. I would also like to add a dog park and offer more free or low-cost activities for our
30 seconds left.
Senior citizens, and my children want a splash pad. If elected, my job is to serve you and make sure everyone's voice is heard. South Haven is a diverse city, and we need a board that represents that. Once again, I'm April Wright. Please vote on Tuesday, June 8th. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. All right. As I've said, we're moving right here on time. And now we go to the final and last candidate of the evening from the city of South Haven, who is vying for Alderman Ward 6. We will hear virtually from Pamela McKelvey-Hamner. Mrs. Hamner, you have 2 minutes on the clock.
Thank you, sir. My name is Pamela McKelvey-Hamner, and I am a candidate for Alderman in Ward 6 in South Haven, Mississippi. E pluribus unum, e pluribus unum. Out of many, one. South Haven has the potential to be the leader to promote a new narrative for the Magnolia State. We can retain our citizens and attract the businesses we want to set a new standard for moving Mississippi forward. I do not believe the Confederacy is the best of Mississippi's history. I believe our future is greater than our past. I've lived in South Haven for 23 years. My husband and I bought our home when Church Road was 2 lanes. The explosion of economic growth we have can work to our favor to ensure that we retain our citizens and our young people and that they don't leave. We can make Mississippi have its place to the true creed of our democracy, that out of many, we are one. I believe in diversity, equitable representation. Representation matters. A respect for individuals' rights. I will be transparent. That's part of my platform. The reason I say transparent is because you will know in this digital age what's going on in those board meetings that a candidate talked about earlier. We'll know what's happening. They won't be secret meetings because we'll be transparent. Because as an alderman, I represent the people. I don't work to promote myself. I'm working to promote the community. I will also have integrity in all policies related to government that I am a partaker of. I will make sure that I communicate with the citizens to know how you feel about it. It's about you and that relationship that's a give and take. In the 41-year history of South Haven, there's never been a Black person on the board of aldermen, despite the city being 30% Black. Our board should reflect the diverse community that we are. South Haven is a diverse community with the potential to be the leader in North Mississippi. I am asking for your vote on Tuesday, June 8th. The polling location for Ward 6 is DeSoto Central High School. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Thank you. All right. Well, citizens, you have a choice to make. This is the final candidates forum. The first one was May 25th. And guess what? A week from today, you go to the polls to cast your vote. I certainly hope that you have really gained a perspective from the candidates, to listen, to hear their platforms, and that you have gleaned from their conversations with you, and now your mind is made up. So before we move on, at this time, I want to bring back Sharonda Tony for more final election information.
Yes, what a great night. So as we conclude, I want to tell you that if you are not able to vote in person on June 8th, absentee voting is available if you qualify. Absentee voting is currently available at the Hernando and South Haven City Hall Wednesday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I believe Horn Lake has those same hours, and it's at the City Hall. For Walls, though, I believe on their website, they quoted 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on this Wednesday through Friday. All city halls are open for absentee voting on Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please note that this is the last day to absentee vote on Saturday, June 5th. Okay. And as I said, for additional information about voting in DeSoto County, please either visit the city websites, or you can go to www.desotocountyms.gov. Also this weekend, if you're visiting Brown, we will provide sample ballots for each city after all of the services. That's Saturday evening, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock service, and at the 11 o'clock service. So as we conclude tonight, don't forget to exercise your right to vote and let your voice be heard.
Thank you, Mrs. Tony, for that valuable and important information. And as Mrs. Tony stated, before we wrap up and conclude for this evening, let your voice be heard. Your vote matters. So before you decide your vote doesn't matter, consider the outcome of what one vote can do to make the difference. In 1868, President Andrew Johnson was saved from impeachment by one vote. In 1948, Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th president of these United States of America, became a U.S. senator by one vote. California, Idaho, Oregon, Texas, and Washington, they all became states by one vote. So folks, you have no excuse, no sympathy for voters' apathy. Voting should not be an option. Go to the polls next Tuesday, cast your vote, June 8th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Do the right thing, vote. Thank you for joining us. I want to thank Brown Baptist Political Action Forum Committee, Pastor Orr, the DeSoto County branch of NAACP, and of course, the North Mississippi Culture Foundation. Thank you for joining us. Be blessed. Don't forget to vote, and have a great evening.